Richmond, north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Living in
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
These are the sorts of things that we should talk about right in the first 5 minutes of the podcast. Started giving people free clothes.
And sunshine and rainbows is
Definitely a thing for just being a solo
The
operator.
change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Oh, hi, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, so we got Kerry and I'm Ben from Lawn Support in Darwin.
Yeah, hi.
Well, welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars, guys. Now, I've spoken to Ben before. How are you doing?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, good.
It's been a couple of years since we recorded previously, but we caught up down in Melbourne this year, so that was great.
Yeah.
And met Kerry down there for the first time, and Kerry's very outspoken in public, and was like, who is this person? Oh, Ben's wife.
Sorry.
That was awesome.
It's Darwin.
She's a Darwin girl, born and bred.
Well, see, I'm an introvert, so meeting somebody who's so extroverted like that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to hide behind a rock for a minute, but no, I'm all good.
Would you like to know a secret? I'm actually both. I used to be a sales rep, so I'm really good at being extroverted when it suits a purpose, but I'm an introvert most of the time, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm probably a little bit like you in the sense that I can put myself out there, and I do that for things like the podcast. But when we were down in Melbourne, I was very happy to go back and hide in my room and be on my own for a little bit.
I
think we did that for a week when we got back.
Yeah.
It was a pretty busy weekend.
It was a very busy week. We were very socially fatigued at the end of that week, but it was beautiful. It was really nice to get down with everybody.
Yeah, we should give BJ a shout out.
Hey friends, I'm just eating my lunch at the moment, but wanted to give you the heads up. We've got a brand new deal between Catch Pro and Aussie Lawn Stars. If you purchase on catchpro.com.au now, you can get 10% off your product purchases by using the code LawnStars10. So jump on it, save yourself 10%. Just keep in mind this doesn't work with bad workwear, GA spares or Segway. Thanks.
The Ellie show was absolutely awesome, and
it was, yeah,
so good.
The event was great. I turned up on Friday afternoon, and from the moment I turned up, there was just lawn care people everywhere. And met Tony Sins, and I've never met him before, but I've threatened to interview him several times, and he's hidden from me.
Yeah,
he was standing in the car park.
The voice from Bribey
Get him on,
legend.
Oh, yeah.
You need to do a podcast, 100%.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Oh, he's agreed to do it, but he said, call me closer to Christmas. And I'm like, all right, I'm putting it in my diary, Tony.
No,
that's
everybody
awesome.
was so friendly. Like, we were so, I guess, a little bit of imposter syndrome kicked in when we first got down there, because we're like, oh, we've come from Darwin and everybody's down south and it's very different. And what ended up happening was, like, we got in there and we started talking, and it's all the same stuff. It's just, different blankets. It was so refreshing. It was very rejuvenating to get down there and talk to people who love what they do. So,
it was awesome like that, wasn't it? You just feel like you're in your own family community when you're there. Except it's Melbourne weather, so it was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy.
Yeah, especially for us.
Yeah, for us it was a little bit cold.
On the morning of the show, I went out there with a jacket on and walked around for a little bit trying to catch people in front of the camera before the show actually started. And within half an hour, I was like, all right, take my jacket off, walk around with, this shirt. And then half an hour later, I'm like, oh, man, it's starting to rain and I'm getting cold. And then put my jacket back on.
No, Melbourne weather did not disappoint. We were jacket on, off the whole time.
It actually was really good weather. We had that little bit of a shower come over, a little bit of a mist come over. But other than that, it was pretty much blue skies, because we were down there from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah. So it was quite good. But, it was a little bit cooler than we expected. It was when we first got off the plane, and then a little bit warmer towards the end.
We actually went down on the Thursday hoping that on the Friday we could duck out and see the snow, but there was no snow. Not anywhere close anyway. It was just kind of all slushy stuff left in the car park.
No.
Yeah, you would have probably had to go further afield if you're going to find the snow.
Yeah, no snow for me this time. I've never seen it, so if I get a chance to, I will let you know, because the closest I usually get is the inside of the freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never ever
If
seen
you,
real snow.
if you go to the show next year, it's in the Gold Coast, so I'd say there'll be loads
No
of snow
snow
at the Gold
again.
No,
Coast.
I know, but I can go ice skating. It'll be fun, right? We can
Yeah.
do that. It'll
No,
be
I can't.
awesome. You can ice skate.
No, I can't.
You're dexterous.
100% can't.
Ice skating proves people who are not great on their feet.
I love it. I think it's great
Yeah.
fun. I don't care who sees me belly flop. I don't really. It's nice and cool.
No, it's more about the 2 weeks recovery afterwards.
I was going to say I've fallen over on the ice rink a couple of times, but that was when I was a kid. I'm not doing it when I'm almost 50.
No.
Yeah.
It does definitely take some recovery stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we had a really nice time down there. It was lovely, and hopefully we'll be able to get down again for the Gold Coast one, which is what we're aiming for. So
Oh, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, well there you go. I don't get a look there.
You better be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing is this next year, Tristan, my son, turned around and said, "Oh, no, I want to come down." And I'm like, "Oh,
Fair
but,
enough.
yeah, that's fair enough, but it's kind of nice to go away, you know?" What?
Well, tell him to get his own room.
Yeah. Oh, it's not so much that. It's the fact that we've got to leave the 2IC in charge, and that's a really hefty load.
Yeah.
Nah, yes. Yeah, that would be
I
challenging.
don't really want to do that to the poor lad. We might have
Yeah.
to shut shop for a couple of days and get everybody down there. But
Well, no.
I'm in the management side, not everybody. We've got 20 staff, so we can't do that.
No, we're not doing that.
Just
We're
shut
not
the
doing
shop
the
for the
basketball.
weekend.
Yeah.
Just say there's nothing happening this weekend, so
Yeah.
go home,
absolutely.
have a week off.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I think it'll be fun. I'm really, I don't know. It depends whether he goes to, our eldest is looking at going to Vietnam next year. So depends whether he does the overseas trip or he decides to come down and check out the lawnmowers. But we'll be there
Yep.
anyway. So
Yeah, you just went to Bathurst this year,
lucky little darling.
which is good.
Yeah. So got to have your holidays in.
Yeah, he wanted to come down, and I'm like, no. You're going to Bathurst this year. I'm not paying for 2 holidays for you.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Ben, when I talked to you last time, it's got to be 2 years ago, I think, off the top of my head.
Would have been,
But-
yeah.
We had a fairly good look at what you had been doing at that stage, but we should do a recap on some of those things. So, obviously, you're in Darwin. We talked a little bit about your Skag, did you say Liberty 42-inch? Or 36-inch, sorry.
36-inch Liberty,
36
yeah.
inch, yeah. But some of the things we want to take a deeper dive in, we did talk about briefly last time that you were doing work with NDIS.
Yeah. Yep. So we're mainly dedicated towards the disability sector for not only just residential lawn mowing, but also for employment supports.
So let's just be really clear on this. People are going to listen to this interview, and the initial thing when they hear NDIS is, oh, you're mowing lawns for NDIS customers.
Yep.
So that is a big part of what we do, but not
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
The big thing that I want to point out is that you're not just mowing lawns for NDIS, you're also providing that, like you said, but people need to hear it twice, 3 times, 4 times before they'll get this. You're providing employment for people that are on NDIS support.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That's right. So we have 2 different streams of program that we run. So we have, we call it GROW, but the acronym is GR2W, so Get Ready to Work.
Yeah.
And that's funded under the Finding and Keeping a Job type category under NDIS. And so we generally take people on for about 9 weeks at a time. And we upskill them in basic skills to be able to get a start in the industry. So they'll come in and they'll learn about being punctual. They'll learn the basics of work health and safety, in basic machinery, so push mowing, whipper snipping, basics of ride-on, and those sorts of things. And then they will generally run for that for about 9 weeks at 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And while they're doing that, we pay them award wages. So they're paid as a casual staff member for us.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, we give them the option to help them support into other employment programs or other employment, depending on where their levels are at. And then we look at SEEDS, which is supporting employment and empowering disabilities. And that's a longer term arrangement that we have with people who don't want to move. And
Okay.
they stay with us.
So you would get a fair few new people come through on now. The acronym was
R2W or GROW, yeah.
GR2W, but GROW is the easy way to remember.
Yeah.
So a lot of people coming through that program. I'm guessing most of them make it to the end of the 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them do. We got
We've had
probably about
3 out of
3 or
about
4 out of 20 that have,
yeah.
20, 25 that have kind of dropped it and been like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah, which is fine.
Because a lot of them are like young people that haven't worked before. Some of them have been sitting at home after high school until they're 20 and they've never worked before, and they come out and they think, oh, maybe we want to mow lawns. I like the idea of green grass, and then they get out in the heat with a lawnmower and go, no, I don't like mowing lawns. And then don't come back.
It's all capacity building. If people, know what they don't want to do, they can go into the area of what they do want to do. So it works out really well.
I think the things you were saying there, Kerry, that are important, they're getting skills that are around punctuality and employment skills in general. So even if they don't see out the full 9 weeks, it is giving them that introduction to the workplace and introduction to expectations that employers have.
Absolutely.
I took on one of my first employees through a local disability services company, Castle Personnel, and that came with some sort of government grant. It's a long time ago now, so I can't remember all the details properly, but some sort of government grant. If I gave them regular work, it had to be over a certain number of hours per week and had to be for at least 6 months, I think. And that person, I formed a friendship with. I still wish him happy birthday every year, catch up with him every now and then. But it was a case of him having a disability, being on the autistic spectrum. So it was a massive learning curve for him to go, oh, wow, there are actual expectations of being in the workplace. You can't just play computer games all night and turn up to work the next day. You've got to start thinking about these things. And he wasn't perfect at that. So it was a learning curve because he had to adjust over time and get better at that. And with the disability, there's a whole lot more to get used to than if it's just a regular person who likes playing video games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think our biggest driving force in regards to this realm of employment is we have 2 kids on the spectrum ourselves.
Yes.
So we have 2 boys, so they're 18 and 20.
Yeah.
And when we started out our business, our son was our catalyst, our eldest boy. He wanted to work in horticulture but didn't know where he fit. So all of the foundational skills that we had to instinctually put in place for him to be able to develop his capacity so that he could actually work through a full day and service. We started out with 1 client a day and then we progressed to 2 clients a day, and now he's up to 15.
10
It depends on the day. But he's all of those base skills that we did with him. We realized how important it was for people coming out into the workforce for the first time. So we built those into a program. And just not taking anything for granted and understanding that it's all capacity building. Even if somebody just gets a reference at the end of their time with you and they know they don't want to work in the industry, it's still a win because they have an idea of where they want to go. That was our predominant catalyst in getting us going. And then we grew and we matured and we learned along the way.
I think when we hired Kerry's cousin, Brad, which is he's autistic and kind of finished school and sat at home, and he's very far out of town. He's 40 k's out of town, so it's a bit of a drive for him. And he wasn't really doing much. So we said, well, why don't you come on board and we'll give you a go and we'll teach you. So he came on board. I think we're only doing two jobs a day back then,
back
4
then.
days a week. And we just built up the skills from there. And
That's who I see now, and he runs his own crew and he upskills people with disabilities on how to work. So he is doing amazingly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're very, very proud of our team. They've done an amazing job so far. So, but it's all a learning curve. It's all about like not taking any kind of skills for granted. For us, anyway, we look at it and think, if there's an issue on a site where something's been forgotten or something's been missed, how can we turn that into a learning capacity, and how can we develop those skills and put things in place so that person can grow forward and learn from it, and how can we learn from it as an organisation? So, it's a labour of love, really.
I think that's a worthwhile business system for employees that are not unique, that just everyday run-of-the-mill employee that would be good at the job, to still have that learning attitude and going, okay, well, if we have a situation arise, how do we deal with it? All those systems you have to put in place because your employees are new. I hate saying they've got a disability, but they're on the spectrum, or they struggle with life. And so you have to put more systems in place for them, but those systems make sense just for any business to utilise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that
we use it a lot. Like I used to work in mining, and mining is very regimented. There is a process and a system for everything, and it never assumes that you don't know not to lick the live wire. So mine sites are very, very good at doing that. And with that background, we kind of thought like, well, you can't take anything for granted. You don't know what someone's going to do. And so you need to kind of just monitor and just see where they need that help, and then try and, help them through that and teach them about that.
So, it's been a little bit of a lot of feedback from our staff. We're very, very grateful. We have a team of over 20 now. That's between our grower guys and our seeds guys, depending on who's in for the day. We don't have them all in at the same time. We normally have 2 crews of about 3 to 4 people maximum a day. So that's including Ben and myself and supervisors. So, we've got
normally about 10 people on the ground every day.
Yeah. But when we're trying to upskill people, we actually went to a conference recently, and it was in regards to hiring people with additional needs or disabilities, so lived disability employment. And they were talking about some of the challenges faced with employers. And as far as I'm concerned, myself and Ben, I know I speak for both of us, when you train a new staff member, it's tricky anyway. You never know what somebody's background experience is going to be and what their expectations or their parameters are going to be. So it doesn't really, for us anyway, as far as we stand, it doesn't take a lot more extra time or effort to train somebody who might have an NDIS plan and needs a little bit of extra support in one area, because it's asynchronous. So one person will be excelling in a particular area. Most of our guys are really good on a machine and probably need a little bit more help in the social side of things. And then you just marry the two. So it's been a bit of a learning curve for us to just take it back and accept it for the way that it is, and that people have come with their own experiences. So
I think when somebody starts a business where they're just self-employed, a lot of the things they do along the way are from making mistakes. So they have to learn by upsetting a customer that's not a good idea to upset your customer. They have to learn by negotiating with customers that the customer can't always be right, and you can't just go, well, I'm not going to upset them ever, but I've got to actually have some expectations from my end as well.
Absolutely.
So when you go from those basics to, I need to learn pricing and I need to learn accounting systems, and then maybe I should put on an employee. Most people who go through that process don't even recognise they're utilising systems. And so when they get to that point where they put on an employee, and, I'm speaking from my own experience, you go back and forth and don't learn sometimes and don't recognise that you need systems the whole way through. And so you need to have a employee handbook, and you need to have work health safety policy and the various different things that make it possible to give your employees proper training and clear expectations.
Yep.
And then start thinking about things like, oh, do I use scheduling software, a CRM, all the different things that come into it. In your business, you've had to nail those systems. You've had to make sure that you think about those systems because of the complexity of what you're dealing with employees. And your business model, if I understand correctly, Ben, you never actually set out to create yourself a job where you're on the tools, did you? It was about providing work for your son first and then for other people.
Yep. So, we started out just providing it for Tristan, just to kind of keep him busy when he was through that rough stage when he was young. Yeah. And then we decided he wanted to do a cert in horticulture, but that was delivered face-to-face over 6 months. And we just started a business, we just got clients on, and then they're like, oh, no, you've just got to stop that, and he needs to study for 6 months. Well, we can't do that. That doesn't work. So, that's when we hired Brad as the second, and then we decided, Brad, do you want to do the same thing? And we'll put you both through it over, I think it ended up being 18-month traineeship to be able to do that because the 6 month blocks only delivered at the start of the year. So
were you in this from the start, Kerry, or were you working elsewhere?
So a little bit cheeky of him, actually. He decided that we were going to do this business and that it was going to be him and the son on odd days, and then it took off and I got dumped in it.
See, this is why I need both of you in the dungeon here, because this comes out.
I was like, I was a little bit shocked because I had to learn how to. Sorry, I'm just trying to move my chair around because I'm out of shot. I was a little bit shocked. I had to learn how to reverse a trailer, and I had to learn how to fly with the zero turn. And I had a bit of gardening experience anyway because my parents grew up on, I grew up on acreage and that sort of stuff. But I certainly wouldn't have sat back and said, if you'd spoken to me 5 years ago and said I was going to be working in the field of gardening and upskilling people, I would never have believed it. I was working in a high school at the time, doing inclusion education. So I was working with people with additional needs in the classrooms.
At least you're in a similar field.
So and now we're like, well, the next progression of that is that we get to help people in the workspace. But so he's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to need you to take over for a little bit, but I'll be here in a couple of weeks and it'll be fine. And then it just kept on carrying on, and then we had 2 staff, and then
we kind of just kept growing and growing, and then we thought, and what about 2? Probably not long after I spoke to you last time, I got made redundant, and we looked at the business and how everything was running, and we were like, had a look at a couple of other jobs and had a few interviews with people like councils and governments, and then speaking to them, and I'm like, don't really want to do this again, actually. I want to do something else. And we're like, why don't we just see if we can make money off this? It's making money, so just change a couple of things, which we did. We, changed a few processes that we did and decided, well, why don't we have a look at this GROW program, because that'll get us employment then. And so then we developed it over time then. It took quite a while.
So something you mentioned there, like when you had Tristan working and then you brought Brad on, the point of doing that was so that you could give your customers regular routine maintenance, right?
Yep.
So rather than it being what suits Tristan and Brad well, it was a case of going, okay, Tristan on his own, it's just we can't tell the customers we're not coming for 6 months of the year.
No, it's not a very good way to run a business.
I guess the reason I'm focusing on that is because a lot of people think in their head, and I've done this, right? I work 5 days a week. I want to put on an employee. I need to give them 5 days a week work too. And that's not always the case. And often it's a case of going, okay, employees have needs, not just special needs, but they have needs. They might be stay-at-home mum or they send their kids off to school, they go and do work in between school hours, or they can't manage doing 8 hours a day, or 5 days a week, so they've got to be able to handle different things. And I think that eases the pressure off your business in the sense that you can then have multiple casual employees in order to keep your customers happy. So I guess it's another system that just forced you early on to go, all right, how do we actually set the business up so that we can provide routine, regular maintenance for customers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much what we did.
Pretty much. And, with that, with every single employee that we took on and we grow and developed, they all have their own life outside of work. And we're very much about not having work as the be all and end all. It's not for anybody, not even for us.
No.
Yeah.
Like we own the business and we still want to have a personal life.
No.
Yeah.
And the crews only run 8 till 3.
Yeah,
It's too hot to
so-
run during the wet season. It's too hot to run much more than that. So
You Northern Territory people, yes. Oh my goodness, 8 till 3. Well,
Yeah, they're pretty quick. I will say they're pretty efficient at what they do, though.
they'll normally get 10 jobs done a
I get
day.
10 jobs done a day.
I want to move to the Northern Territory, but I know how humid that is. I'm not envious.
No, they're pretty. Our guys are very good. They swap and change roles every job. So if you whip a snip, you never whip a snip 2 times in a row. Like they're on all the different machinery. So, but yeah, it came out to be one of those things where we have to respect our employees and what their boundaries are and what their capacity is at. And then they respect ours as well. And from that, we ended up, which is a little bit of a side story, but we ended up with a lot of clients or participants that were working with us that actually do seasonal work. And it worked out really well for our business. It was a great model. So they
can do 2 days a week with us during the dry season, and then 2 days a week with the market event organisers.
And
people like that. And then during the wet
very-
season, the market shut down and they do 4 days a week with us.
Yeah, and they get that very
Which is when we're busy.
So it worked out really well. I feel like we were just a bit plopped in it, to be honest. Like it was just luck of the draw. Like it couldn't have worked out better for us. But
Because we saw it opening in the market. So we saw in the disability market with our kids going through, we realised that there's just wasn't a lot of very good, like really good service providers up here.
Yeah.
We had a bad experience with quite a few of them. Not lawn mowing stuff, but others. But we've heard quite a thing. You know, a lot of people don't like people who just turn up whenever and say, "Oh, you get your lawn mowed this week," and it might be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
yeah,
Yep.
If you can tell them we're going to be there Monday morning every 2 weeks, they're happy. It's part of their routine. They stick to it. That it's really easy to keep a customer happy just by turning up on time.
Yes.
yeah, communication.
So we kind of just developed it like that, and that's we stuck with that, mainly keeping the customer focus involved, and then worked everything else out in the background. So,
So it's interesting what you've done there. I can't make a big enough deal out of this, and for you guys, it's just like, no, that's just how we work. But for the average business to transition from a single person being solo to dealing with employees, that is one of their biggest challenges, is to get from I can have flexibility and do whatever I want whenever I want to, I've actually got to start structuring my schedule, and particularly for an employee, I've got to make sure it's a really structured schedule that looks at the needs of the customer, the needs of me, the employer, and the needs of the employee, and tries to make sure that enough of those things line up that everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it definitely came into play with us anyway, that we had both worked in other industries before we started our business.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of different industries.
A lot of different stuff. So, I guess, that experience and drawing down on what we knew didn't work helped streamline what we knew might work, and then we could try it and test it. And we had such a good group of people that when we were working and bringing on new teammates and new participants on board under our programs and things, they're very our staff are very open to communicate what does work for them and what doesn't. Same with our clients, to be honest. We never hid the fact that we were working with people. So our business model is people with different abilities, servicing people with different abilities, so they understood what some of the not restrictions, but some of the more idiosyncrasies of it are, and
kind
how
of
much it can affect somebody.
it can be really good for a start. You keep to a routine, and the staff love a routine because the guys are doing the same jobs every 2 weeks, and so that kind of break doing one job 1 week and then the next job next week, and they know where they're going to be, helps a lot because they know the routine, and so that's easy. The clients know the routine because we're there all the time. They know the people because it's the same people all the time. They know that the guys have all got different abilities, and that sometimes things get missed or something, or something might get stuffed up, and they go, oh well, that's okay, we don't mind that, just fix it up on the next one, and it's all good.
I think that's really good, because the average person, I'm going to keep going back to comparisons here, the average person, like myself, starts a business like this, and with your employees, they would have a tendency to be thinking like technicians, which is what I explain. The E-Myth also uses that example, talk about people that start a business. A technician's focus is on, I can be the best at cutting the grass straight and making sure it's perfect, right? So rather than worrying about customer service, communication skills, all those sort of things, it's just like, I'm going to win my customers by proving that their lawn looks perfect. And so for you to spin that around and go, actually, we're going to be providing the customer with something that is expected routine. We're going to be there the same time every fortnight. We're going to be delivering something, but don't expect it to be perfect every time, but expect us to be good at following up and making sure we do our job well.
Yeah.
And I think too, like, one of our limitations very early on with working with our own son was that people do get bogged down on being perfect all the time. And then that carries in a whole lot of anxiety and a lot of stress on site. And it's like, well, we sat back and we were like, look, we're going to do our very best. And that's all you can ever ask of anybody, is that we're going to give 100% on a job. And sometimes that 100% looks different for every person, and that's okay. But we're going to do the best that we can, and we're going to be consistent. We're going to have clear communication. We're going to have those channels open so that if somebody doesn't have their needs met, they feel comfortable in coming to us and talking to us, because 90% of the issues that we came across with other service providers, ourselves as a family, was not feeling heard. So being able to feel heard and to have that clear line of communication and to be able to tailor the service for the individual client as well as the staff, been really handy, especially with with some of our more introverted clients. Like, we had clients that we're not allowed to make contact with, but they know we're there, and we've got to give them a heads up that we're coming into the property, but we're not to approach the house. And the guys got that, and they understood it. They were like, they were like, sometimes you can't people. That's cool.
And I think it's really interesting, because I know with my special needs employee, I'd be focused on, let's provide 100% perfect quality work every time. If I got him started early, he'd had a big night playing computer games. He either couldn't function and couldn't get it perfect straight up, or he'd be hyper-focused and get it really awesome, but by about 11 a.m. midday, he was burnt out from hyper-focus. And so for your employees, that's a really brilliant life skill that they've got to learn, of going, okay, we've got to pace ourselves to do a 7-hour day, is it?
Yeah, 7 hours.
6 to 7 hours, depending.
6-7 hours. And we don't have to do a perfect job the whole time. We just need to pace ourselves and get through the day and provide that consistency with routine.
Yeah, pretty much.
The focus is on the routine rather than on have to deliver a perfect job every time.
And that's, I think, the benefit of having a team.
Yeah, and they do a good job. They actually do a really good job. We leave jobs looking really good. The amount of times we get from the customers, like, I can't believe how much better it looks like.
They've exceeded their expectations, and it's because it's like a spousal relationship, you know, like sometimes, you know, the 80-20 rule, when your partner's feeling a little bit down and deflated, you jump in and you submit that extra 80% if they're down. The teams work very much like that. So the guys will be like, okay, so you're having a bit of a bad day today. We get that you're a little bit sensory. You put your headphones on, you focus on this and this and this, and we're going to come in and we're going to lift the pace. And the overall standard still manages to keep the same. They really do complement each other beautifully. The teamwork and the understanding and the empathy and just the compassion that we have through having a diverse skill set and a diverse range of employees is remarkable. I would never, ever change what we're doing 100%. Like that would, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think those life skills are skills that a lot of kids these days, they just don't get.
Yeah, they don't.
No.
We got one of the young fellas, mate. We got to talk about nutrition. It's like, mate, you can't just live on 2-minute noodles for a week.
It's
like,
not going to work when you're
can't.
long.
You can't come out and hold a whippersnipper for 5 hours a day or 2 hours a day or something if you haven't eaten any proteins and vegetables and things like that. So we had to talk to him about nutrition and making sure he gets his sleep and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, he's not fit for work and can't come in to get paid. And he went through a bit of a rough time, and then he's called us up today, and he's like, "No, I'm ready. I'm all good. Let's go." It's like,
ready to work.
had my spinach, had my meat, and I'm good.
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so being a part of that and giving them a bit of all-round support as well, not just in the workplace, but also if they need stuff after hours.
Yeah.
You know, they can give you a call and say, "Oh, I don't know how to do this. What am I doing here?" And a lot of them are on the disability support pension, and so when you start paying them, they've got to start recording that to Centrelink, and so you need to walk them through that kind of stuff.
Whole other level of complexity.
A lot of them don't even know what superannuation is.
Yeah. So.
Never even heard of it.
They wouldn't realise that it's getting put in their bank, or not in their bank, but it's being banked for them.
So we go through all that with them. Most of our induction process is a small safety induction, and the rest is basically just about your work life and this is what you need to know as an employer, as an employee.
Know what is pertinent to you. And,
and what your rights are in a workplace that you can't get taken advantage of. And we go through the Fair Work Act with them and show them what they're supposed to get paid. And if they have any questions, they can come and ask.
After inviting Sortscape in to share how their software can help your business, we created a link for you to be able to support Aussie Lawn Stars when you join. Sortscape will save you time and effort with scheduling, quoting and reporting so you can build a more efficient business. Visit sortscape.com/lawnstars now to join, and thank you for your support. Your hand is forced in a sense that because you're working with the government and you're working with people that have these special needs, that has meant that you've had to set your systems up in order for your business to function. I am curious, are you using a CRM at this stage?
Yeah, so we run, we've changed over to Sortscape a couple of months ago. And,
have you put the Lawn Stars code in to get that one?
I didn't, unfortunately. I'd heard it. I'd actually listened to the start of the episode, and I'm listening to the way they were talking about how you handle crews, because we're using ServiceMate before that, and that's really hard with crews.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you've got 5 people on a crew, you've got to click on that job, and like every single person. It's pretty frustrating.
It was very
on every single job,
consuming.
So we changed the Sortscape basically just to make that crew allocation a lot easier. So you can just build a crew for a day. It takes about 2 minutes as opposed to taking 20 minutes. So,
but even just today, I sat down and did our rostering, and we've got people that'll work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then other people who'll do Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, and Saturday, and it's crazy with 20 odd staff. So doing the rostering took us about 15, 20 minutes.
Well, it still took a while to get it in there. Like it takes a while to fill these CRMs up and to fill the data in there. That's the long part, and that's what.
Once it was done, it was done.
Yeah, I think that's probably why there's a few people out there still that don't like them, because they don't realise that you've got to fill all the data in.
Well, I think you get varying mileage with different ones, and I know ServiceMate is an awesome piece of software, but I believe the initial initial rollout to get it set up well is quite exhaustive with ServiceMate, but with Sortscape, I believe they've made that quite simple by comparison. So it is easier than a lot of other CRMs to get it rolled out and be able to use it.
Yeah, it took us
I think
7 weeks to move over.
Yeah.
So it's still like
It's
it does
still-
it picks up all your clients from zero and all that, but you can't take all the jobs that you've got, repeating jobs that you got from one and put it in the other. You've got to create new ones in the new one.
Yeah.
And you've got to make sure that people don't fall off the list when you do that.
But I have to say, though, like Sortscape has been really good for us now that we're a bigger team. But ServiceMate, when we first started out and we were just working with a very small, intimate team, it was really good, and we were able to, do job allocation lists for certain clients and things like that. But definitely as we got into bigger teams, it was a lot better to migrate over. But it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the next 2 years as we progress through this.
We still haven't done our wet season planning yet, so we're still in dry season at the moment. So most of we haven't had any rain yet. We had a little bit last night apparently, but we haven't had any rain since May. So if people aren't watering, everything's pretty dry and dead.
So let me guess, it's probably end of October before it really ramps up.
Yeah.
It's things are just starting to come out in flower now, and everybody's decided to start watering around the same time because it's like a dust bowl. But it'll be interesting as soon as those first rains hit, it goes crackers.
So what we did, I think the first 2 years we filled up during the wet season, then during the dry season we actually filled the books again. And then during the next wet season, we were very busy and had to put more people on. And then the next dry season, we filled the books again. So by the end of the dry season, we had no available room. And then we're like, oh, what are we going to do in the wet season? So we put more people on and run 2 crews full time. This wet season, we're probably going to be running three. But probably 2.25.
It'd be interesting to see how that growth goes, because I think like mentioned before, a lot of businesses as they scale up, they're looking for full-time employees so they can go, all right, let's fill a full schedule, which puts you on the back foot because you got to get those full-time employees through winter, through the dry season for you.
Exactly.
So it's a little bit challenging, but for you guys where you're doing 2 teams at the moment, building up to look at doing 3rd team, then it's a case of going, okay, you don't have to give each of your employees full-time work, but it gives you a little bit more balance in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And we find too, it gives it a nice little bit of, for our full-time guys as well, they're not working with the same team day in, day out, so they get a bit of variety in their work.
I like it.
Their problem solving has gone through the roof. They've got 2 to 3 different teams that they'll work with on any given week. So their time management and everything is really amped up over the last 12 months. It's been quite fun to watch.
Oh, you're right. So our Seeds program normally runs with 5 people on crew. So there's 2 supervisors and 3 participants. So but they're not necessarily the same 3 participants or supervisors on every day. So they all change around.
5 people in one crew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that look like practically on the ground? Like they go and do a residential job, you got 5 people turn up in a ute?
Yep, that happens really quick.
Yeah.
It would.
So that mostly the supervisors, they do help on the jobs. They still work next to them, but they mostly just help the guys stay focused and stay on track and help them through the tasks. This is what we need to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their role, and they don't get very good efficiency on the ground, but they are the ones that get the workers to get the efficiency.
I know how that feels because I don't do this all the time, but I have had on various occasions 4 or 5 people working with me on any given day. And when you've got one person who knows what they're doing, you're just like, all right, so you go do that, I'll go do this. And your own efficiency is spot on because you can trust the other person. They've been trained, they know what they're doing. As you get 2, 3, 4 people, you're constantly going and chasing problems.
Yeah.
And instead of being on the tools, you're problem solving, managing, and all those things that can be done. Like you say, motivating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we do have the way that we run typically with both our grow and our seeds is that we'll have two supports on ground. So our seeds guys is 2-to-3 ratio. So
Yeah.
two support staff on the ground, and then 3 staff that are being supported. And then with our grow guys, it's 1-to-1. So we have 2 of us on the ground, and we are literally working 1-to-1 with the participant as we're going through and doing the job. So if they're whippersnipping, we're whippersnipping beside them, and we're upskilling them that way. But you're dead set right. There's a lot of problem solving that goes with it, but at the same time, there's a lot of skill building that goes with it. And the guys, their communication skills all increase because they've got to communicate as part of a team. So it's not just I reported to my supervisor and went off and did my thing. They're checking in with each other. They're checking on each other. They're getting the tool out for the next person as they're going back to the ute, and they're thinking it 2 steps ahead. So their planning and their strategic stuff is developing along with it, and it helps along with the life skills. So all of our participants that come to us with our employment programs who have NDIS funding are actually utilising some of their funding to be able to get progressive life skills in place so that they can be more independent. So when they're doing these things, it means that they're able to actually develop further in their personal skills and their problem solving and those sorts of things. So it works out really well. But we're tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Yeah. Listening to what you're saying there, I'm thinking that any new participant that comes in, they are walking away with so many skills at the end of 9 weeks. If they do walk away, if they stay with you, even better. But they're walking away with so many skills that they did not have when they started with you. But you would have Tristan, Brad.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm guessing Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're both out there doing that as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we have my dad's just started working with us, so he's retired.
Oh, wow.
And he works with us 2 days a week.
He works 2 days a week. And we've got Kim, who's another supervisor, who's 1 day a week.
Big shout out to Kim. She's a big fan of yours, by the way. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
We got you a new listener,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
And then we've got Butch as well, who's kind of transitioning from where Tristan had his supports to now working with Tristan to help him support the other participants. So sometimes he works for us, and so we end up, when we try and get them extra people in, that gives us the time to run the business in the office.
Go in and do sales and do podcasts.
Nice.
So, today was an office day. It was, pretty much all day in the office doing all the fun things like, BAS and payroll. And
funding proposals. And
Fun. That's got to be done though, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it does,
It does, but it means that you don't lose track of where you're at with your staff either. Like, we can get out on the ground and we can see where their quality is because we're out there with them. And we can make sure that they're doing things in the manner that we want to see, and that they're communicating things in a nice, I guess, comfortable method with us as well. They don't feel like they're removed from us. So it works out well. Yeah.
So we've focused very much on those programs and what it looks like business-wise at the moment. Let's have a little bit more fun, a little bit lighter entertainment for a minute. So we did mention you use the Skag Liberty 36.
Yep.
I'm guessing you're going to have one of those for each team.
No, we've got the Liberty 36, the original one, which is 4 years old, which was just about to go into semi-retirement. It's got just over 1,300 hours on it, and the motor's starting to get a bit worn. But it's going all right still. We're actually going to repower it and keep it going a lot longer, but we just want to try and pull back on the work a bit. So it's probably just going to be back up for the wet season. And then the other crew runs a 52-inch Turf Tiger.
So with the 36, what did you say the horsepower is on the standard motor? No? 18. And you're putting more horsepower in there, or
slightly more. We're actually putting rather than the FR 600, we're putting the FX 600, which does get rated to 19 horsepower, but it's got the commercial motor with the cast iron sleeves.
So negligible difference in horsepower, but it's a much stronger motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the motor on the old one at 1,300 hours is starting to burn a little bit of oil, starting to get a bit worn.
Yeah, that's to be
they're
expected.
kind of designed to run about 500 hours, not 1,300.
Yeah.
So doing
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
definitely. So the new motor will outdo that one by a long way, hopefully.
Yeah.
But the
So
other
we could
machine you
keep that
said was
going, probably for another 1,000 hours with a new motor on it quite easily.
yeah.
Getting
So
retired.
the other machine you said the other machine's a 52
52-inch Turf Tiger, yeah.
Turf Tiger. Yeah, so that's a bit of a step up in terms of the commercial quality hydros,
Yeah.
the motor, everything.
It's a little bit bigger. It's about twice the weight.
Yeah. So are you running utes and trailers for both of your rigs?
Yeah, we just got Mazda BT50s and
Yeah.
we've got a little box trailer for the little one at the moment, but we've just bought another, it's an ex-Gyms trailer, closed one that we're going to use, and then the other
So
ones are...
that's easier to set up with all the gear in the toolbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the guys out of the weather when we need to as well. So.
Yeah.
And then we've got the car trailer, which is
Then the car trailer, which is set up with the turfy on the front, the big toolbox, and then green waste on the back.
I'm guessing in Darwin you've got to catch the grass.
No, not really.
Not necessarily.
Sometimes it depends if they pay for it.
I like the sound of this. This is much more my style. I much prefer mulching than catching.
Yeah.
Mostly we've got the what are they called? The electronic Pro Shields on the side of them, and so we can put the Catch Pro on the side of them.
Yep.
We've got the Ego mowers which catch excellent in the wet. They're not a problem. But yeah, if someone says no, you need to catch my grass, it's like no worries. That's an extra $25 a service.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do they have green waste bins in Darwin?
No.
No.
That means you got to cart it and tip it then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why we charge accordingly.
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
Yeah. And grass collecting that much grass clippings over a day is just a pain in the ass in the wet season. Quite easily end up with 400 kilos at the end of the day.
It's very sticky and it's very heavy.
Yeah. I'm guessing if you get enough people asking for the grass to be caught, you'd set them all up on one day so you can just go, all right, we don't have to worry about unloading grass clippings every time.
Yeah, pretty much. So we've got like a bulker bag system on the
we do just a
original
bulker bag at the moment,
And if it gets really full, then the boys drop the bag out the front, and then the other trailer with the big turfy comes over and picks it up and which is why we've got the big trailer coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. Keeps them honest.
Yeah.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money season after season.
So you're getting the ex-Gyms trailer set up for the Liberty. Have you already got a big trailer for the Turfy?
Yeah, we've already got a car trailer for that one, so that's all good.
Okay.
We will get better trailers made up, but it's all just waiting on, money.
They're quite expensive, aren't they, to get a good trailer?
Yeah, especially up here. You've got to get a custom built up here pretty much. The ones from down south don't last long. They rust out.
Yeah, so would you go galvanised?
We're actually thinking aluminium for the boards and for the sides, and try and enclose a lot of it at the front.
Yep.
Try and have like the mowers parked across the drawbar, and have a cover on that to keep them out the weather, and then the big toolboxes on the back, and then a tipper for the green waste.
So being tropical,
aluminium's good.
you want to be able to keep your equipment out of the weather as much as possible.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're running any battery tools, but I mean, either which way.
Yeah, the batteries seem to go all right in the rain. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to. I did get told off by the Ego guy for running the inverter in the back of the ute without a cover on it during the wet season. Apparently, there's something about electricity and water that doesn't mix. I don't know, but it hasn't died yet. So
all day, every day with a car fridge
Yep.
attached.
yeah, we've been running it for like 18 months. It's now melted a bit, but
Yeah, wow.
We did put them through their paces.
Yeah, a little bit more than what it was designed to do.
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of the Ego gear is designed to be able to handle a bit of rain, but I'm thinking working in the rain is good. But then when you're putting the tool back in the trailer, if it's in a covered section rather than exposed to the weather the whole time, that's going to be beneficial.
Yeah, we tend to not work the guys too much in the rain anyway.
No, we don't.
Because
we don't get a lot of light rain. Normally, when it's raining, we get about 20 mil an hour. Like it's heavy rain.
And there usually comes with lightning with it. No, I will never put somebody in that situation.
Based on my rule of thumb, if there's water running off the hard surfaces or pooling, then it's time to pack up and wait for the when those areas dry out again, then you can go back to work.
Absolutely. And you don't want to damage the grass anyway.
Like most of our lawns up here are kind of like a clay, gravelly type material. They're not proper topsoil or anything. So a lot of times if you get 50 mil of rain in the afternoon, you can go back to mowing in half an hour.
Right on
Yeah, some of them like the turf ones, you can't go anywhere near them because they hold a lot of moisture. A lot of the new subdivisions are designed to hold that moisture in to be more water efficient. But with all the older stuff, you can have a heap of rain on it and go and mow it once the kind of rain stops. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, the main thing is just the wetness of the grass just clogging the decks and.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's it.
Gross.
It makes so much mess.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't look good when you finish. Generally, we try not to do it.
Yeah. How do the guys handle the routine change if there's too much rain?
Pretty good.
Not too bad. We make it a fun day normally. So if we got to cancel the day because of rain, I think we only lost 4 or 5 days last wet season. There wasn't many that we actually lost all day on because most of them are afternoon storms.
We take advantage of it, and that's where our staff training comes in, and we have like a morning tea, or we'll do our safety meetings, and they normally do pretty well.
So we try and turn it into a fun experience for them, so that when they do get that unexpected change, it's not now I've got to change everything. It's and they go, what happens with the job? And it's like, well, this time of year they just wait another 2 weeks.
It costs us a lot of eye controls, but they do love it. They love it. So
I think that's part and parcel of how your business runs, isn't it? It's just to be expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So apart from the trailers and the mowers, what's the predominant hand tools you're running? Are they all Ego as well? Or?
Pretty much, all the whippies, the hedges, the blowers are all the commercial Ego stuff. The push mowers are commercial Ego. We do have the little non-commercial 47 centimetre ones, just for small units and upstairs and things like that.
They're a lot lighter.
They're a lot lighter,
for sure.
And because we've normally got 5 people or 4 or 5 people, if you've got a big push mow job, you just have 2 people push mowing.
Yes.
Yeah, it gets the job done a lot quicker.
Definitely, make a big difference.
What else we got? We've got a few hedges and things like that, but not much. We do have
the edging tool, but it's all pretty much Ego gear. We were running a lot of different stuff when we first started, but we just found that the battery operated was so much easier with the guys. So
yeah,
for sure. It's not having to mix 2-stroke fuel, not having to worry about getting the wrong fuel in the wrong machine.
And just even something as basic as the noise reduction and being able to hold it in a way that you're comfortable with. One of our whippy operators is tiny. She's about 4.5, 5 foot.
So watching her with the big commercial Ego one, she's doing vertical edges. She's got the bloody hand like up here. It's pretty ridiculous.
Lovely.
So she's tiny. She's our little pocket rocket. She's pretty good on a whippy too. But
a lot of people will go to the battery on a belt, on a harness with that whip to try and keep the weight down on the whip a little bit. Particularly for somebody small like that, it can be really handy to get the battery off the tool.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of the harnesses though.
Yeah, a lot of our we've got the battery backpack harnesses with the blower back and the brush cutter attachment, and then we've got Husqvarna and then Ego harnesses for the whippies. When guys first start out, a lot of them prefer to use that when they're first starting out. But most of the people that we have working with us actually progress away from them because they find them too hot.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, well, it's going to save your shoulders, so use your harness, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they find it a little bit warm. But it's
sweaty.
It's a little
But we normally start them with the harness, and then as they go on, normally after the 9 weeks, they're like, oh, no, it's just a pain in the arse, isn't it?
well, it's your choice and your body, but, we prefer you to. But I will say, though, that they are usually, because they're not normally on the tools, the same tools two jobs running, it gives them a break. If they were on the whippy all day, I would insist on the harness.
That's really smart to be able to rotate that so they're not doing the same thing all the time. I think any job where you're on one tool for more than half an hour, it starts to cause all sorts of repetitive strain issues.
Absolutely. Yeah. No,
so we do. Mostly it's just residential. We've got a couple of government and contracts and corporate contracts, but not many.
A couple of churches and
very, very small. Yeah. But we found that just the residential runs is good because you're in and out quick.
Yep.
You're not on the tools very long. It helps the guys because especially a lot of them can't concentrate too long. So a 20-minute job in and out and they're done. It's really easy. And they've only got to do normally 1 or 2 tasks on the job.
And they love it when they've got 2 or 3 houses in a row on the same street.
And then, so you might have 1 or 2 people on the whippy on one job, and then you'll use the other 2 people on the next job. So it breaks up a lot. It reduces the strain quite a lot.
You'd have a lot of batteries though with 5 guys out in each crew.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how many we've got. According to how many I've bought, we should have about 35, but I've counted about 28 at most. So I don't know where the other batteries have gone. There's a couple that are at home, but there's a couple that have died, not dead, but not playing the game anyway.
We have a lot. We've got the big charger base. And it's always good fun with the guys. They love, going in and stacking them up at the end of the day because everybody's tired and they're heavy.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah, so that's good fun.
Other than that, it's mainly the we do have the Milwaukee sprayers, the handheld sprayers, the M12 one. And we use the electric secateurs and the little hand hatchets that they've got in the M12 as well.
Yeah, I've got the M12 electric secateurs. They're great.
Yeah, they are. They're good. Yeah. Although I did have a look at them Fisker ones with the auto stop thing in it at the expo, and they're great. But our guys have already lost one set of Milwaukee secateurs. The Fisker ones are 4 times the price. That they don't have them.
That's the Felco, I think you mean.
Felco. Sorry,
They are. I had a bit of a play with them as well, and I was joking with Luke. I was like, put your finger in between if you're going to prove it.
We give all our guys the rundown with the Milwaukee ones. It's like, righto, if you put your finger in there, it's going to get cut off. Here's your safety induction. See the broomstick? Snap. Go straight through it. That's what will happen to your finger. When that happens, make sure you yell out that you've lost your finger. Make sure you keep an eye on where your finger goes and pick it up, and then we'll save it so we can reattach it. And they give you this look like, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. You take the first cut and their hand's about 2 meters away from the secateurs.
Look, you can't stress that safety issue enough when it comes to using things like secateurs, chainsaws, hedge trimmers. It's just...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
How do they go on the hedge trimmers?
We don't normally get the grow guys on there at all. Once they get to the seeds, then we start to introduce that kind of stuff. Basically, grow is just mow, snip, blow.
Yep,
that's what they get taught to do. We don't try and get too much. We do green waste jobs and general labour jobs like that, but not. We don't get them on the specialty tools.
So you'd keep the hedge trimming jobs for special days when you're not having the grow guys on that team.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of dedicated hedging jobs. We've just got a few residentials where there's hedges that we do every now and then.
Yeah, so the supervisors will usually do them because they've done their Cert 2s in horticulture. So then they'll do it and then they'll model and they might talk them through it and they'll do little bits, but we tend to not have them on the stuff until they've got that muscle strength up, especially in the upper body, to be able to hold it safely. Yeah,
you don't want them not being able to hold a hedge trimmer up properly.
That hedge might not look so straight.
No.
And same with their fingers, like you don't want to do that.
Or the guy standing next to them.
Yes. No, the amount of people that have hedge trimmer accidents is unbelievable. So not sort of tool to muck around with.
No, they're pretty.
They are a bit scary.
They are a little bit scary, but they have so much fun when you can use them properly. Like they are so awesome. Love them.
Yeah, we've been doing a government job and we've been pumping a heap of fertiliser into the garden beds, and everything's just kicked off. When we took it over, it wasn't looking that great, and now all the hedges are starting to fill out. It's taken nearly a year, but they're all starting to fill out and they're starting to look really good. So that's quite nice.
Yeah, it's nice to.
It's satisfying doing that one.
I've got some Buxus hedges that have been looking really awful for a little while, and I had a chat to the fertiliser guys just before winter, and I'm like, hey, I need to bring these Buxus back to life and probably even plant a couple of new plants in there to make it actually look really good. So through winter, it's sort of been dormant, but the fertiliser's been working in the background, and just in the last 3 weeks or so, all the new shoots coming out on these hedges, and they're filling out really well.
Yeah,
so nice.
That's good.
But hedges are typically really thirsty plants. They need a lot of extra fertiliser compared to most things.
Yeah, for sure. Most of the plants that we have hedging up here is your Moreas.
Yeah.
So and they love a good fertiliser.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit tricky in the wet season to keep on top.
Yeah, they are actually. Yeah,
crackers.
Yeah.
You might have to look into a PGR for them.
I was talking to another contractor up here the other day, and he's a turf specialist, and so he's like, because we were doing a tender walkthrough for some of this government sites, and he was, these would be easy to look after, I said, fertilise and everything. I said, we got them going crazy. He said, no, you do all that, but then just hit them with plant growth regulator and just do it every 3 months. I said, oh, okay. That's a good idea.
Yep.
So we may have to do that. Once they fill in properly, we may have to look at doing that.
Yeah, they go a bit crackers.
Well, it's actually worth looking at doing probably sooner than you think, because PGR typically helps them to fill in quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So PGRs encourage more of that sort of growth and less of the extremity growth. So you find it fills in more and doesn't throw all those new shoots that are 3 meters long.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That might be better to do. Maybe we do need to do that.
A little bit of scientific research. Love it.
I'm not using PGR myself, but I am starting to think about doing that with this Buxus. If it fills out nicely, it'll be like, yep. And the way it's heading at the moment, it's going to be on the cards.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
Oh, you'll have to let us know how it grows.
Yeah, we did change the fertiliser on them to a slow-release tablet rather than the spec said NPK granular, which I think probably made it go a little bit too crazy. So, hopefully this time it doesn't go quite so crazy with the long-term tablets.
Yeah, for sure. Should help to just make it go crazy for 9 months instead of 2.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's about it.
So we spoke about the benefits of the extra employees. I mean, the other thing is too with it is it's looks really good if you're going in for government work.
Yeah, it's
because they all have a social aspect side of it. So if you're looking at government or council work, even bigger corporate work, they will be wanting to know what part of the community you're servicing and what you give back to the community. And so that goes down really well. We've had a lot of good responses from the tenders that we put in.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, like from a more holistic point of view, is like if you've got an inclusive workspace, you're contributing on like broader scheme things. You're contributing to a more inclusive community in general, which is what everybody wants. Like if you've got, you've got a diverse workforce that represents your public really well. And most of our clients really resonate really well with the fact that they love the fact that they have somebody who's coming in and showing their young person who might have challenges that they're facing at the time, and they're like, hey, these people are still out there earning a job, and they're contributing to society, and they're helping us, and those sorts of things, and that we model that. When we first started our business, it was very much about what people with different abilities can do, not so much about what they can't and the challenges face. It's just a different way of navigating it. So Ben's mum is she's got a huge background in inclusion. She used to work for
Early Childhood
Australia. So he was born into that line of thinking. So
I find there's good and bad with this, but there's certainly, in the current climate, there's a lot of pushback on a lot of inclusive education and inclusivity practices, and I would imagine the Northern Territory would be no exception there. There's certainly a lot of old world mentality, even around me, where people are like, no, there's only two genders and everybody should be treated equally and don't make exceptions for people. And it's like, well, I kind of gel with that side of things as well, but the more you look around, well, not everybody fits the mould. How do we make people feel like they are still welcome, wanted, and included in everything? And, it doesn't need to be in a way that's intrusive to people who want to live in a simple world. But at the same time, it's about going, well, let's make sure everybody gets a chance to have a meaningful career, life, family.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of times it's not a lot that you have to change. You just got to give them time.
Time is the biggest.
Like sometimes they just need a couple of years rather than 3 months to learn a job. But that repetition helps them learn quick. It's more just change. Once you start changing things up, that's when they start to get a little bit hairy. So Brad had a lot of trouble when we first started putting him on as a supervisor on crew, as the one running the crew. Even though we had supports there, and now we've got somebody else working with him 1 day a week, which is different than us. So now he doesn't have that support. It's all him. When you put him on a new job, he wouldn't know what to do. And now he's actually getting it. He just rocks up to a new job and he goes, rightio, well, it's the same thing as normal. We just do this, moves through it, does it.
We have a protocol.
So he's actually learnt that skill. It's just taken him probably a bit longer than what most people would have. Well, not most people, but most people that don't have a disability would take. So
I
think that's very interesting, because I can see both sides there, in the sense that myself, looking at how I learnt to do things in business, and the people that I've worked with, it's different across the board. So you'll find typically somebody who's mildly on the spectrum will be an absolute awesome technician.
Yes.
And probably average with their social skills.
Sometimes they can be. We've had other, and I say this only because we've been caught in that before. We've had somebody whose their specialty and their special interest is socialising. Yeah. So they're really good at that and struggled with the technical aspect, but that asynchronous.
And I see that too.
Yeah. And you just sit back and think, well, that asynchronous side of things brings a whole new challenge, but it's very rewarding when they get the skills that they need and a level that they can get. So
I think, when we're talking about people who are very mild, and I would classify myself as being in there in terms of saying, I could potentially get diagnosed as being on the spectrum, but obviously I'm podcasting and I'm running a business and I'm doing different things. So there is a level of function that is good, and then things that I find challenging. And so that's not going to be the same for everybody. Like you say, some people are great with their social skills and some people are great with their technical skills. But I guess the difference there being, when you enjoy that particular aspect of the job and you find you can find your flow state, you can pick up a task and it becomes second nature, kind of like sitting on a zero-turn mower or a stand-on mower, and it becomes an extension of your body. And it only takes 5 minutes, and you start going, yeah, I get the idea. And you know, after you've done it for 15 years, like I have, it's just fun, second nature. Don't think about it. Have a blast doing it. But then when it comes to me talking to customers, that has, and this is the key point here, like talking in front of a microphone, that has taken me 10,000 hours to get used to.
We do it really well.
Go back and listen to my first episodes and you won't.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I think everybody needs to have that time in that space to be able to practice.
That's pretty much it. It's all just time and practice. And sometimes you do it real quick. Sometimes it takes a long time. Like I'm pretty quick at learning most things. Pretty much every career I've gone into events very quick in. I've learnt the skills very quick, and I've been good at it. And so I'm good at doing that, and I can put on a good face in front of a customer, but then I'm not that good at actually dealing with people sometimes. That took a long time to learn.
Look, I think everybody's going to have their downfall when they're stressed, right? So, and for you and me, Ben, it's probably, you know, dealing with our spouse or our children when we're really stressed. You probably find, you know, it's a little bit more challenging to communicate effectively without making them feel like a terrible person.
Yes, it is. 100% of this.
Especially when you work together and you live together.
I'm sorry, Kerry.
No, but it's so true though.
And then sometimes, like we had, you know, it was only a week ago or something, we just had this day where it just seemed like everything you're saying to the other person just seemed like an insult. And it was like, this isn't what we're trying to do. Like, we just need to pull back on this.
The stupid
we
thing
both
was
just kind of reached that
burnout point.
Where we needed a rest.
and I've been having that day myself today, so I know exactly what you mean.
Absolutely.
That's not what I meant.
But you can't be perfect and on your game all the time, right? Nobody can be. So it doesn't take away from the fact that you're still a good person. You just can't be perfect
sometimes
all the time.
not so
Sometimes it's a little bit shit.
And if you go back and listen to my early podcast, you'll go, yeah, that was a little bit.
But we don't normally have too many. Every now and then we have a bit of a thing, but mostly it's when we look back at what we've done and the people that we're helping. That's the biggest thing, and it's like we can see so many big outcomes. A couple of months ago, we started asking for some testimonials of some of the guys, and the testimonials that come back were just like
life-changing stuff.
Yeah, life-changing stuff. The parents were nearly in tears, and you know, brought tears to everyone's eyes reading. It was like, and all we did was just give them a job, and it's like, no, we didn't do that. We did a lot more than that. So and that's gives you a lot more reward than anything else.
I happened across Tristan and Kerry talking on testimonial just a couple of days ago, and it brought tears to my eye listening to you guys talking about the challenges you guys have worked through. And it really is. It's something you guys should know that it is worth recognising in terms of the good you are doing for your community and for people that need help.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that for everybody. I think like we all do stuff in a daily basis that is contributing to somebody's life on a higher level, and you don't always realize what you're doing is affecting them. So, I am very, very grateful for the job that we have and for the career that we've built. But at the same time, like we have got so many people that helped us along the way, and they wouldn't even know that they made such a big impact. Like you go into it with the right intentions, you help people along the way and you don't even realize it. And it's pretty powerful stuff. So
and I've seen that with you guys, but I've also seen that in my own podcast where at times I feel like I want to pack it up and why am I doing this? And then I hear just at the right time somebody that says, hey, Gary, your podcast has changed my life.
Absolutely.
Well, it has. And, I've been listening to yours, probably not from the first one. I did listen back to the first one, but probably I think I was later when I picked it up.
I'm sorry you had to listen to that.
No, but even going through with, BJ's podcast and Luke Smith's one. Like it's all very inspirational stuff when you hear all these different things and you start thinking about business differently and go, okay, we need to actually do this. Not only do we need to have that kind of driving force of we always want to do good, we always want to try and get the best outcomes for people, but we also need to make this profitable because otherwise we can't live.
Yeah, you got to do your oxygen mask first before you can help other people, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
And so you can't just do it out of the love for it. You actually need to run a business as well. Otherwise it fails and then you let these guys down.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It's critical.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of growth over the last couple of years.
So we look at you guys and we're like, oh my gosh, like it was so good. Like it's so inspiring and it's so amazing to be able to talk to so many different like-minded people all traveling in different ways of business and stuff, but it's still so powerful. Like it really does matter to people starting out. As I said to you earlier, like one of our staff members, she's just come over. She's got a horticulturalist background. She's just come over to us one day a week doing support work. And Ben said to her, oh, you should check out these podcasts. And she loves them. She was like fully fangirling it when we said we had a podcast today. She's like, oh my gosh.
Thanks, Kim.
So, thanks, Kim. So yeah, she's awesome. She's like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. So it does make a difference. What we do makes a difference. Everybody makes a difference in their own way. It's pretty amazing. So very humbling.
I just want to touch back on something you said, Ben. So one of the advantages of your business model is that you mentioned it puts you in a good place to be able to put tenders in with government jobs. And I think that we have said several times, because of what you're doing, you've had to set up systems that other businesses only learn down the track. And that has put you in a position where you're working with government documentation constantly, you're working with government departments constantly. So it's second nature to you. It's like you've done your 10,000 hours before you even go to put a tender in.
I used to work at the government.
That helps too.
That helps.
That helped a lot to understand it. So I did about 5 years with civil construction and maintenance, in the government, and then another 5 years as a consultant for the government as well in civil maintenance and construction. Yeah. So whenever you're doing any kind of government contract, you're constantly looking over the specifications of the contract document to make sure that the contractors are compliant. And so basically my job was to go out on site, especially in the construction stuff, was to inspect stuff, make sure that it complied with the standard drawings and the specifications and the actual contract for delivery time and all that. So that was quite easy for me to do with the tenders because I know how they work. And then there's the consultant side of it too. We used to put in quite a lot of tenders and work on that. So we, not only just the compliance with the tender, but also actually writing a tender for submission as well. So I had quite a lot of experience in that already, as well as a lot of operational experiences as an operator in mining and construction, and then a lot of management experience as well.
A lot of people, the idea of putting a tender in or doing any of that documentation side of things with the government is really daunting because they've never done anything like that in their life. Yeah. And not that it should be, but if you haven't done something, you don't know. And you don't know how big a document like that will end up being and how complicated it will be. And at the end of the day, once you've done that, it's actually going to work out fairly simple for you. You just roll through the document, you go, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Where do I go? What do I find? Make sure everything looks like it's spot on.
Yep.
Off you go.
Yeah. And doing tenders is, once you understand the system, it's not hard. It's getting to understand the system and what they're asking for. When they give you the tenders, they tell you, you're going to get 40% of your tender evaluation is going to be price. And then 20% is going to be innovation, 20% is going to be community and things like that. They tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah.
If you know how to read it.
But you've already got those, several of those aspects taken care of because you're already working with the government departments with everything else. So they look at that and they go, oh, tick, 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 done.
Pretty much, yeah.
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 It's not without its challenges. Like the first
Of
couple of
course.
homes we put in were pretty time consuming to get them started. But
Yeah, but they are time consuming.
yeah.
When you look at the value of a tender, you got to put about 1% of the value of a tender worth of work into it. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at, $100,000 tender, you got to put whatever it is, $1,000 worth of your hours into it to be able to go for it.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of
Definitely.
dedication you should be doing to them to be able to get through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're like me, ChatGPT helps.
It does help a lot.
When it comes to filling out a very lengthy document, ChatGPT is a win.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
It'll fill out the fluff.
We've only just started getting into the ChatGPT workspace now, and then we've realised that we can hook it up to our Google files as well, and we can actually get it to search our files to bring out information for us, as well as our emails.
Yeah, so much.
It's kind of like copy and paste on steroids.
Yeah,
it is a little bit.
yeah,
That's the best analogy I think I've heard. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it is. Yeah,
You provide it with the database, and then you tell it to do the copy and paste and the find, and then off it goes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it still takes a lot of time. It's not perfect. It's a bit like watching a 4-year-old do something for you.
Yeah, which is why I think it's
Very
more akin to
young.
copy and paste than it is to actually something with a doctorate or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But it definitely does. It definitely reduces the time a lot that you've got to spend on it. If you can pull out all your standard information, get it to populate the document, and then just go through and modify as needed, it's a lot easier.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get it to do the heavy lifting, then you do the proofreading, and then you got to do the refinement.
Yeah.
I think anybody who's got a business should chat GPT and do a search on their files and then get them to write a dossier on what they actually do, because I can tell you that was eye-opening. Like, you sit back and you think, oh yeah, we're doing this and we're doing this, and then you get chat GPT to put it in words for you and you realise how involved your business
Yeah, it's actually quite big, yeah. So you can actually ask it to search all your files and emails and say, can you build me like a one-page company profile
like a
page?
business plan,
And
or
it can tell you, and you're like,
So
geez, that's actually right.
so good.
But we need to delete this part out of the podcast and not give people this information. It's too valuable.
No, we're all about helping everyone.
100%. 100%.
One of the biggest things.
But if you want a chat GPT specialist, just talk to these guys.
Yeah. But one of the biggest things I've done throughout especially with this business.
I'm Gary Ashton, and I'm here to help business owners succeed and enjoy being in business. Does running your business feel chaotic? Maybe you started it for freedom, to live the life you wanted, but now you're stuck in the grind, overwhelmed and exhausted. The stress doesn't stop. You work harder, but nothing really changes. Get real support at Think Tank Coaching. Get crystal clear on future goals, your ideal customers, and the numbers to focus on that will move your business forward. If you're ready to make a change, let's talk. Book your free strategy session now at thinktankcoaching.com.
You can help people as much as possible by giving the information, but I don't. We don't look at the competition type thing. It's not competition to us. It's we run our own race and they run their own race. We do different things. The walkthrough that we did the other day, we're looking at it, and there's quite a few local contractors there, which is good because we've got a small Facebook group going up here for local contractors. And we'll put it up on that, hey, anyone that's interested, there's a mandatory site inspection, make sure we do this. And there's quite a few of the ones that we've never seen them before rock up, which is really good to see.
Nice.
And we're walking around it, we're talking about the jobs, and we're like, decided after the third site, we're like,
nah, not for us.
no, we're not going to do this job. This doesn't fit what we do. Like, it's good work, it's good money, but it doesn't fit. Like, we mainly do disability support in homes and residential places. That's in most of our mowing that we do. And just that, it was different. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be it'd be a lot of stress for your guys to manage the different work.
Oh yeah. We were looking at some pretty high traffic areas, so that would have been not a good fit. But like yourself, when you start out in business, when you're wanting to try and make your money, you try lots of different avenues.
Yep.
And then you realise that you just got to refine what you're doing and make yourself good at one. That's pretty much where we where we ended up.
When you're fresh into your business and you do take on a lot of different things, it's pretty confronting when you get to a job that you go, this is not for me.
Yeah, full on.
I don't want it. I'm going to tell them I don't want it, and I'm going to try and walk away. And it's actually hard to say that to somebody when you're in the mindset of going, I've got to take everything on. And then I turned up to a job where it was a property clean-up. The fridge smelled like there was a dead body in it. I walked through the house, saw the fridge, walked out of the house, and I spent half an hour getting fleas off me before I was going to hop back in my car.
Oh, God.
Yeah, wet cleans are not fun.
Yeah.
No. I was like, that's not for me.
No.
But
we have done some wet, like
done
one
some
or two
interesting
wet cleans, and we're just
yeah.
like, we discovered we don't actually
We
want to
don't
do
like
this.
to do
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that there's either your area of expertise or it's not, and it was not my area of expertise. So much better to hand that over to somebody who knew what they were doing.
Yeah. We pass a lot of work on. We are very selective with the clients.
Yeah.
If we get phone calls from new clients and we're like, okay, do you want work during the dry seasons, wet seasons? It's a once off. And if it's a once off during the wet season, it's no. I'll find you someone else.
Yeah.
We've got our set routine, we've got our set regulars. We fill up. We can't take on any extra work. Otherwise, we're going to start missing jobs.
Yeah.
But, during the dry season, we still take a few weird ones on and a few odd ones on, but we've learnt that, no, it actually does take a lot longer. You need to charge a good price for it.
Yep.
And pretty much all the ones that we've given a price for that we thought we would do has turned around and said it's too expensive. And so we gave them recommendations for other people and shared their information into the group so that other people could look at it. And quite often we get a call back and it's like, we weren't overly happy with the guy that did it for half the price that you quoted. You got a price point job. What do you expect?
Yeah. Do you want it? Do you want it fixed up because you got to spend that much money again?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they're like, how much is it to fix it up now? And it's like, no, you didn't see our value before. You're not doing it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun times.
I like to do that. I've done that with a couple of clients that start getting a bit irate and start getting narky with me. They're like, okay, I see that you just don't see our value anymore. How about we just part ways? And they go, but I wasn't expecting that. It's like, but you don't respect our place of business anymore. You don't respect our guys anymore. Like, just find someone else. Do you want me to find someone for you? I can find someone.
Yeah.
That's a challenging conversation when you've made your mind up already that you're leaving and they don't want to let go of you. I
think sometimes the clients just do it, try and get a better price or get a bit more work out of you. And when you just go no and walk away, they just, I wasn't expecting that.
I've mentioned one job that I had for quite a while, and I've mentioned it on the podcast numerous times, but I reached that point where I was willing to walk away, but I didn't say I'm walking away. I said my new price is X.
Yeah.
And his response was, no way, that's too much of a price increase. I'm not paying for that.
Yep.
And I had reached that point where I was like, I'm not going to bat an eyelid. So look, I'll come and do another mow. You find somebody else.
Absolutely.
And he didn't bat an eyelid. He turned around and he said, I'm not willing to get somebody else to do it. You do a good quality job, so I'll pay you a higher price. I'm not happy, but I'll pay it.
Yeah. Yep.
Win-win.
Yeah, we actually, when was it? It was around about March, April, something like that. It was coming towards the end of the wet and lost 3 out of the 5 biggest clients that we had in 1 month. And the next month, we'd made record sales. And we're like,
there's something to be said in that sometimes.
Okay, these guys are taking a lot more time than what we thought.
So,
look, I think the key point that both of us, all three of us have just made there is when you have a self-limiting belief, it holds you back, not just because of your own self-limiting belief, but because your customers also impose that on you because that's what you've told them you're limited by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And freeing yourself up from that self-limiting belief, getting rid of those customers or adjusting your own perceptions and expectations, the customers follow.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
When we first tried to launch our program, we got told that it was too expensive.
Yeah, well, it took us
And
What, 2 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years to get it to the point now where we've got a wait list of people.
And nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Like we haven't, you know, our pricing is still in line with the NDIS guide. And we haven't adjusted anything, and you know, goes back to our staff. But the value in what people see 2 years later is very different. So sometimes it's best to just hold your ground and just keep fighting for what you think that you're worth. And it pays off. So right, it works out well.
Yeah. Once you adjust your own perspective, then other people that want to be involved with your business, they follow very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Which has been good. It's been a big learning curve for us. I've done a lot of management positions, but never actually had to run a whole business.
Yeah.
It was different, like transferring over and starting to make all these decisions and start thinking about all this, because it was like you're working with someone else, you've always got that person above you kind of telling you about all this stuff, but you never really take it on much. But once you start realising yourself, realise your own, no, we can do this, we've got this right.
And I think you found it challenging too, the personal side of things.
Yeah.
Because he's very corporate minded.
Corporations will do that to you.
Yes.
That very personal centered approach was a little bit challenging for you at first, but you ran with it and you did really well. So
it can be a challenging mindset to get out of.
Yeah, for
very
sure.
challenging. Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure. Sometimes you're navigating stuff and it's like, you over there.
Yeah.
Calm down. Let's take a minute.
They all still have a couple of things going every now and then. They don't always get along like a house on fire.
Like, okay, let's work this out. Let's do relationship counselling today. That's our job today. It's good fun.
Yeah, we have a few counselling days there, don't we?
A few competing personalities, but it keeps us on our toes, so it's all right.
With the amount of staff you've got on, that's just got to become part of what you do as a manager.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. That's pretty much it.
Sure.
And especially if you manage staff in government places, you start to realise like people will not get along, and that most of what you're doing is just trying to get them to get along, and be nice to each other and still actually produce some work. Like that would be good too. And then so you get into that mindset, and in government and in other positions, it's really easy to just say, no, we're going to performance manage you. And then, whereas we kind of don't really performance manage them, we encourage them to change the way that they're thinking so that they don't have the same problems over and over again.
It works out really well. They do very well. Like we have some beautiful little things that happen every now and then. We like, you thought about someone else's perspective. That is beautiful. Let's celebrate that. Oh, you were championing for someone else. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
So
we do a lot of little things like that, which helps.
We actually have a Lawn Stars box. The guys named it, so we weren't stealing your podcast, Gary, I promise. But we have like a little like Caught You Being Kind box, like where we nominate people for doing an awesome job or for helping out, and then on a Friday we pull the name out the box and they get a free chocky bar or lunch. So
nice.
So it just helps them try to think about other people's points of view and go like, actually, they did something really good this week. I might nominate them.
I might nominate them. I might not see eye to eye with them, but I might nominate them because they were really good on the whippersnipper this week, or whatever. So I like that pretty well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
good incentive.
So, it is. Yeah. Well, I want a chocolate bar. Where's mine? Strikes again.
I don't know if there's anything else.
I think that's it.
I think we have covered a lot of things in this interview.
I'm sorry.
I really appreciate it. It's been awesome.
Might take good fun.
Yeah.
I want to finish by saying thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you coming on the interview, and it's been really good fun.
Oh,
We
thanks for
appreciate
that.
you having us. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Oh, thanks.
And hopefully, if we do it again, hopefully next time we'll have lawn support banners made up.
Yeah. All right.
So we don't.
Yeah, instead of that jolly
so
skag
that we
banner.
can cover up our private whiteboard with our own
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But yeah, thanks all the skag guys for the flag. It was great.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.